How y'all doing? Recently, I have been uh, not forced, but encouraged to uh, examine my relationship with failure. Uh, a lot of people fear failure so much they don't try. And it's not that I am impervious to the feel of fear of failure. It's just that I fail so often in odd kind of ways that I've learned to use my failures as a way to move forward. And I know this is a bit of a stretch, but I was thinking about it because I was at refugee class the other day. And if you don't stop, and this guy, mm, I was trying to help him speak English, and he kept having trouble with certain words. And I recalled from college taking a linguistic class and talking about tongue positioning and as it alters and change as languages, because languages are living, they're not static, they are always changing. And why, when you get lazier or when things change or whatever, how where your placement on the roof of his tongue, roof of your tongue changes, and that changes language, how we speak. I mean, Middle English doesn't sound like anything the English that we teach now. I remember that I had to read Beowulf in the original Middle English, and I was like, you know what? But anyway, I'm not gonna tell you that story. But and I said, and I started looking at his tongue, and then I started looking at my tongue, and then I said, then I was able to help him. I exaggerated, I got like a, all of that kind of stuff, and it helped him. And the only reason I retain that information to this day is because this linguistics class that I took in my senior year, pass fail, because I was just rolling. I was ready to go. Uh, he had the nerve to give a quiz because I usually do my I study right then and just take the test, and I failed it. And I said, "Oh crap! I gotta go to class for this cat because he will fail me." And so I went to class, and I actually learned something that I could use. So A1, that again, how embarrassing that is that I went to college and didn't go to class and just simply got the syllabus and the exam and took the exam, took the exam at the end. How silly that was. I did apologize to my parents for that. I do want you to know that because they paid for it. And then I went to law school, did the same thing, but I got out. I got to pass the test. I'm good at tests. Um, I did all my real learning after I left, but that having failed that test was good for me. Uh, and I kept failing a lot over time. I left the first law firm that I was with because I could see the writing on the wall that I wasn't going to get clients. And even though I was a good litigator, that I wasn't going to be good there. So I moved. And then when I got there, and it's the same thing. If you do a large corporate law firm, you can stay, but you're never going to make great money if you don't have clients. And I wasn't the kind of person and had the kind of life to bring in clients. So, hey, well, instead of staying here, making partner and not making that much money, I decided, well, this isn't working out. Let me run for judge. So I ran for judge, and, that worked out. And then I left my judicial seat because Fox called for a television show you never heard of called Power of Attorney. I went there, and the show lasted all of 4 months. I had left a 6-year guaranteed job for a gig that lasted 4 months. Had a great contract, didn't really matter at the end of the day economically. But what I did while I was floating in that failure, I wrote a book, My Mother's Rules. People read it now. But I got rejected 57 times from 57 different publishers. Uh, And every time I got a rejection letter, I sent out five more queries because I just have this thing about failing is not really failing, it's kind of redirecting. I didn't get this, like I was supposed to be a doctor. I got to I got to college, messed around. You can't be a doctor and not go to class in college and do all the math and stuff. And by the time senior year, I ain't had none of that. And Daddy was like, "Look, girl, I don't know what you're thinking about. You better do something or you got to go. I'm gonna cut you off." So I said, "Oh, I'll take the LSAT," which I did, and I'm good at standardized tests. Did a good job, and I got into Penn. So so I keep failing, but like I failed to do what I was supposed to do, but eventually it leads me to where maybe I should have been all along. Maybe doctor was not the thing I should have been. Maybe this was what I was supposed to do, but I'm not sure because now that I'm a widow, I have to find myself again. And it's it's a job of figuring out who I can't be old Lynn because old Lynn was altered too much over this last 30 years, and thank God. Because if I met my 20-year-old self, I probably wouldn't even like her. That chick was crazy. And she would have probably gotten on my if you don't quit chewing that, I probably wouldn't like her. But I did my podcast, that didn't go well, failed at that. Now I'm thinking about other things, but whatever. But I wanted to share with you my latest failure, which is which I'm enjoying no end. Now we got to get up and go to go see this. So I don't know how the light's gonna be. I don't know anything. What? Now listen to this. I'm so old. I have to pop my knee back in place to get up. Now I'm hoping you can see me. I'm walking through my house. I don't want you to see none of my house. Ooh-wee. So you're gonna look deep into my eyes. Deep into my eyes. No mess, no mess. You don't see any mess, do you? No mess, no mess, no mess. Deep into my eyes. Deep, deep. Just look at me. Don't be looking around. Now you can look around. My latest, greatest failure. I have had four. I'm going to build this house, a dollhouse, but I have messed it up so much. I have four different ones. I had to buy four kits to build one house. I got my glue gun. Look at this. Now I'm committed to the proposition of finishing this house. Just commit. Oh my God, did you see that, man? My thumb is cramping. Wait a minute. Ooh, do you see that? You get old, don't nothing work no more. Anyway, I guess my point is this. Failure can mean that you're trying a whole lot of stuff. Failure can mean that you were doing something you weren't supposed to do. Failure can mean that you were trying hard, but you just weren't good enough. Failure could mean a whole lot of different things. But I always look at it in terms of what did I learn? Like when you fall down, ow, don't just cry because you fell down. Look around while you down there. There may be $20 on the floor or something. You don't know. I've been failing up, but backwards for decades. Just don't live the fall. Look at the floor where you fell and find what you need to do next. 12 cents worth of advice from a chick whose dining room looks like this. Mm, mm, mm.